Now in this lecture, let's talk about the protected access modifier. So this access modifier is really interesting because the whole purpose of it is to meet in between or halfway. The protected modifier, all it does is that it's inheritable, which it can be inherited into a subclass or a child class, but it cannot be accessed outside of those classes as well. So it's kind of an in-between access modifier. Again, the protected access modifier, it gives the feature, which is the attribute or the function. It's able to be inherited by a child class, but it cannot be accessed from outside of that class alone. So I'll give you guys an example as well. Let me just delete some things. I'll delete the money attribute and just make our first name and last name protected. So again, we're using the protected access modifier. So I'll go down here. Let me just make that public again. The set full name. So again, if I directly call, let me delete this class. We're not going to use that. So if we directly call, let's say, the first name attribute that we inherited. So we're able to inherit this attribute now. And let's say if we just want to display it, we use our echo, and I'll say first name, and I'll do that. And then let me just comment that one out, and we'll do our last name as well. So first name, last name, and I'll change this attribute to last name because we can now inherit it, but we can't call it outside of the class. Let's see what we get here. We should get an error because again, we're trying to call these parent attributes from outside of the class directly. So if I go to our browser, click refresh, we get the error. Fatal error, cannot access protected property person. Property and attribute can be interchangeably changed with the terms. So again, you cannot access the protected property or attribute person, and again from the person class, from that attribute. Let's say, for example, if we want to, let me delete that one, and I'll use our created object again, person, and I want to access a method, which is our set full name, because we have access to that method, and we can modify or change our parent attributes from within our set full name method because we can inherit that. So I'll just say Victor Davis. Okay, and let's see what we get here. I'll do full name, and for this I'll go ahead and use get full name. Don't forget the parentheses because it's a method. I'll do that. Go back to our browser. Click refresh and let's see what happens. There we have it. We actually modified our parent attributes, which we use protected. So again, the protected access modifier, it allows the attributes and functions or methods that uses the access specifier protected, those can be inherited by its child class or its subclass as well. And again, subclass and child class are terms that are interchangeably, and for parent class and superclass, they're used interchangeably as well. But just to make it easy for you guys, I use the terms parent and child because that makes sense, because child features can be inherited, but not vice versa. Parent cannot inherit things from the child. So again, that's in a nutshell with using the protected access modifier. And again, they can't be used outside of the classes, but can be inherited through its child classes.